issues of safeguarding emerged early 2006 when the UN agencies were caught up in some peacekeeping mission where they were giving out assistance to communities that were depending on them in exchange of sexual favors. So women were expected to give sexual favors to the peacekeepers and then receive the assistance. And this matter was very serious, so the UN took it up and established mechanisms to control and contain and stamp out these vices. But since then, the matters kept emerging within the same sector where international development organizations working with the poor and working to support various communities across the world got caught up within the same, with the same issues. The INGO movement in Uganda came together and said, look, we are culpable. We do work with communities and we are exposed to the same threats where our staff or our beneficiaries could find themselves caught up within the same situation. And so to preempt that, the country directors came together and set up what we refer to now as the IRMG, the Internal Risk Management Group, which was a working group of the CD network.
For the past 1.5 years for phase 2, we've done quite a lot, and this is beyond the capacity that we've built around the member organizations. Firstly, we've grown the member organizations, and as we speak currently, we have 54 international NGOs and 16 local NGOs. So that means we're a consortium of 70 NGOs.
This working group has been mandated to sort of carry out audit of organization on matters related to internal risk, which are basically matters to do with fraud, corruption, and safeguarding. And so these are the key things that IRMG try to address. And IRMG does that by creating awareness, conducting training that involve the staff of the agencies, helping them to be aware to know how to detect fraud and how to make sure that they are not involved or perpetuating this. And we've gone as far as even training the staff on how to carry out investigations within their organizations to be able to detect or to pursue if fraudulent activities have been going on. We've also trained staff on how to carry out investigations of SHEAR, and SHEAR in this case refers to sexual harassment, exploitation, and abuse. This is particularly concerned with staff who go out there and ask for sexual favors before they offer the assistance that the communities need. So the IRMG is particularly concerned to reach out and ensure that the staff are aware, the staff are not engaged in these activities, and that we also can be able to make the beneficiaries aware that these activities are not part of what we do, and that they are also able to report in the event that they discern or are able to detect any signs of these activities happening in the programs that we carry out within our sector. Kibo
joined the IRMG group just a few months ago. We are one of the newest members of the organization, and it's certainly been quite an eye-opening experience for us. Yes, definitely. As an NGO, you're handling multiple donors' money, and there are certain basics and procedures and policies that you have in place with regards to money management, the reporting standards that each donor perhaps has in place. But it has shown us that we definitely need to be more robust in terms of how we report, how we document, expenses. So it's been quite a very, very eye-opening experience. It also goes to show you that learning never stops, definitely.
Joining IRMG as FinChurch Aid and being a member has actually added value to me as a national focal point for complaints for FinChurch Aid, and of course to the entire organization of FinChurch Aid. Reason is we have practiced a safeguarding, and we have a complaints response mechanism in place as an organization. Right away actually from headquarters, which is Helsinki in Finland.
IRMG has played a very big impact in the way we view issues to do with risk and SEER. That the fact that IRMG has been able to train us as an organization to be able to identify risk, come up with risk matrices, come up with ways in which we're able to identify with the issues to do with fraud and corruption, which are affecting most organizations in this country.
I must confidently say that there has been a very big difference. For example, I remember before this training, it was very difficult for me to differentiate between issues. For example, when you look at issues of sexual harassment and then sexual abuse, it was very difficult for me to differentiate those issues. But right now, I can ably tell you what the difference between sexual abuse and sexual harassment is. And then also, I think I have also acquired confidence in talking about these issues. I can ably talk about them. I know how to disseminate the same information down to my colleagues at IRC, BTN Kampala, or down in the field offices. I'm able to do that. So really, there has been a very, very big difference, and I really appreciate the program.
I would be forever indebted to the IRMG for coming up with this initiative, because it has not only transformed me into an advocate for safeguarding, but also somebody who is passionate about the cause. And I've been enabled to recognize the fact that safeguarding and abuse issues happen everywhere. They can be happening right now as we speak, where we are located. They can take place in the hospitals, in churches, in our work and different projects. There are issues everywhere. I've been lucky to learn a lot of safeguarding material and information, which I intend to take back to my organization and fractionalize this out in our day-to-day operations.
The introduction of the IRMG helped to emphasize the importance of my role in my organization. Through this practice, all the trainings that we've had different members from my organization, from the executive director and other staff who have come to learn, and I believe they have learned how important this role is in terms of integration of risk management in all the aspects of the organization, in all programming. And I think we've gotten to appreciate as an organization that risk management is part and parcel of every growth that we want to undertake, or every activity that we want to undertake. So far now we have risk registers, we have risk focal persons in all our field offices, and so this now I think I would say it reinforced, it reaffirmed the importance of the role in Caritas.
First of all, I must say I am one of those privileged to have gotten a chance of attending a course management and case management and safeguarding course under IRMG. I must say, yes, I knew about safeguarding, but I didn't know to what depth. I wasn't so much aware of my environment and how there are so many risks around me, around the people we serve. Those are POCs, the persons of concern, even the staff we work with. I realized that even we amongst ourselves could fall for SEER issues. They could grow up without even us knowing. By the time you know it, you're involved in a sexual the sexual case against the fellow staff. It opened my outlook towards how we view cases, how cases come in, how we record them, and how we report them.
Before we joined IRMG, okay, the issues, the policies were there, yes, and the issues, maybe some of them were not being reported as such, but after we joined and after we've been, a couple of us have been, the focal point persons have been attending trainings, we came up with a working group for the organization just to see that the different safeguarding issues and also the different risk issues are dealt with. So yeah, it's been a couple of changes. It's taken more seriously, at least from the way we perceived it before.
I used to think that everything is normal in an environment, but I think I was wrong, because I realized that whatever we do quite often, it tends to hurt a third party, either knowingly or unknowingly. So that means that there is need for things to be done the right way, in that all of us live in a space which is safe. I'll give an example. Initially, I would think that if I see an elderly person playing with children, I would think that's okay. It's actually trying to make them feel at home. But I realized that sometimes there are several aspects that are missed out that actually come back to bite these children. And from my level now, I feel like in whatever we do, especially at a community level, we need to pay attention so much to safeguarding issues and of course risk management. So I really feel empowered, and of course I would think that at a given time to be able to transfer the same knowledge to my colleagues who have missed out on this as either champion or a facilitator.
We have different platforms for reporting fraud and corruptions. For example, we have toll-free, which is very free to anybody to call, so that we get aware of any issues that is arising in terms of fraud and corruptions. We have WhatsApp. You find we give t-shirts to the beneficiaries, and in case of any issues, you are able to report immediately. We have hotline integrity. Sometimes you can even report to the HQ if you are not comfortable with being anonymized within Uganda. And there are very many. We also have focal point persons, the camp officers, who are in every field offices, reaching out to the beneficiaries to get to know, is there any fraud going on within the community? Is there any sexual harassment that is happening? So it is, we are able to report. Even if you don't know how to write, you are able to call and bring your issues in different languages, because it is launched in the language that you understand. So every member is able to report in the language he or she understands best.
We are particularly thankful that this phase has helped us to open the eyes of many INGOs on the risks that they face when they are not fully equipped and capacitated to manage the risks that they face, especially to do with safeguarding fraud and corruption. And so we want to see that as the sector players within the country, that each and every individual, particularly all the staff, frontline staff, office staff who are interacting with various individuals, whether suppliers or beneficiaries out in the field, they should all be able to go through this training.
We want to build momentum from what we've so far done. We did look at building capacity, but is there actually knowledge transfer from within organizations? That should happen in the coming year. We want this conversation to trickle down to each and every one within the organization.
This initiative is so interesting. It's international NGOs coming together themselves to address these issues, to make sure that they have all the safeguards in place. And from that point of view, Sweden as a partner and a donor country is very happy to support this initiative and to make sure that we all work together, partner countries, civil society, and obviously also the government, to make sure that the development is delivered to the people.
I know that after here, with a rich network in the IRMG and all other actors and right-minded individuals in the NGO sector and in the governments, local governments, and international agencies, I know we'll form a community of practice where we'll be sharing notes, share ideas, benchmark, and continue to support each other in this fight to ensure that injustices, harassment, abuse, and neglect are put an end. I think this is an obligation for me and you, and I want to call upon you to be proponents of safeguarding, and not only that, but stand up for the plight of the underprivileged.
I want to call upon NGOs out there that are not yet members of the IRMG to also join. They also join, they sensitize their staff members such that they're able to understand the SIA issues, they're able to understand the accountability issues, they're able to understand the risk issues within the organization, within their organizations, and of course it is through this that donor funding will be protected and will be channeled to the intended beneficiaries in Uganda.